Look, it's a big trip tonight, I guess, starting tonight. Tell us a little bit about the trip and what it involves.
Okay, for sure. So, yeah, as you mentioned, we will be leaving. The flight leaves tonight at 9:30. CAO Vaughn and myself will be catching a flight. It's quite a long flight. We won't land till Wednesday morning, which is really exciting. So the conference starts on basically Wednesday afternoon and Thursday. It's a U20 conference. And what the U20 conference is it's a gathering of all of the, well, not all, a variety of mayors across the G20 nations. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to set the agenda in a way for the G20. What's going to be decided amongst the U20 are going to be then presented to the G20 leaders as concerns from the lower or from the municipalities. And so it's an opportunity for Cobourg to get a seat at the table on a global stage, to really sort of communicate and to work with other municipalities that are across the world going through the same issues, going through the same difficult times. And it's a chance to sort of learn from one another what they're doing, what we're doing, to share ideas, to brainstorm solutions, and to look at how we can combat a variety of issues from environmental concerns through to financial concerns, through to waste diversion management, all of these things that we're dealing with, homelessness, the changing economies. Oftentimes, municipalities like Cobourg think that they are very unique, and in many ways we are. But when it comes to the problems that we as a municipality are experiencing, or go to say Northumberland, we as a county are experiencing, what I'm learning is that all municipalities around the province of Ontario, around Canada, and in the global arena are all facing very similar challenges. And so coming together in these kind of events is really important because it allows us to sort of understand that and to see solutions that are being implemented so that we can maybe bring some of those home to Cobourg.
So basically, if I understand it right, one of the things is because some people are saying, "What can India give us?" or something like that. It's really nothing to do with India. That's just where it's taking place. But it's, if you can explain a little bit about, it's a lot bigger than India.
100%. So the U20 and the G20 is much bigger than India. It's just where it's being held this year. The G20 is a massive organization of nations, and the U20 are the municipalities of that. So what we at Cobourg are getting is an opportunity to learn and to brand Cobourg at the national level. And what I mean by that is we get a chance now as Cobourg the town and as Northumberland the county to demonstrate on a global stage what we're doing well. And it's really important for a variety of reasons. One, as part of my job, a lot of people don't realize that within the Municipal Act, one of the key responsibilities of the mayor is to be the representative of the town of Cobourg, locally, provincially, federally, and internationally. It's literally part of my job description. And so this is an opportunity to fulfill a part of that job description that maybe hasn't been done in the past. More importantly, what we're getting to do at Cobourg is to get well known. Opportunity begets opportunity. And what I mean by that is this whole opportunity has only come about through taking advantage of the opportunity in Sri Lanka, where we had our staff show up in Sri Lanka to teach municipalities in Sri Lanka some of the great work we're doing here in Canada. And it was through that opportunity that this opportunity has now come. And part of branding, part of marketing, part of getting yourself known is taking advantage of these opportunities without maybe the guarantee that it's going to lead anywhere else, but with the knowledge that opportunity begets opportunity. And so through this, we're going to get an opportunity to meet with other leaders, meet with other jurisdictions, meet with higher levels of government and different government officials to build knowledge, to build partnerships, to build our brand, and to really connect with people who are the deciders of a lot of things. When it comes time to start submitting grants, both to the province and to the country, to the federal level, them knowing Cobourg is a really good thing. Them knowing the value that Cobourg brings locally, provincially, and internationally will help us in achieving a lot of our goals in the future. And so taking advantage of these opportunities, leveraging them for the best possible outcome for Cobourg and Northumberland County is really important, because what we're going to get out of that, on top of education, on top of better branding, on top of awareness, are those connections and those opportunities that we wouldn't have if we weren't getting these kind of asks, if we weren't getting these kind of invitations.
So you may not see immediate change, but planting the seed is what it's all about.
It's always about planting seed. It's exactly right, Pete. And I think it's really important that those in Cobourg and in the county understand that the work we're being recognized for isn't necessarily anything this council has done in the first 6 months, although I do give this council a lot of credit because we are making a lot of progress. What we are being recognized for as a city, as a town, is years and years of good governance. What we're being recognized for is for the work that previous councils and previous staff have put in to make Cobourg the shining star it actually is. And I think as a member of Cobourg, sometimes we forget how great we have it here. Sometimes because we are worried about sort of the nitty-gritties and the very specific problems within our community, that we don't always have the perspective to realize that Cobourg is leading the charge on so many files. When I was down in Chicago, when we were talking about our ICSP plan,
Which is
Integrated Community Sustainability Plan. So it's regarding how we as a community are preparing for climate change, how we as a community are reducing our greenhouse gas emissions, how we as a community are preparing for a more sustainable future. And I'm telling the mayors of Chicago, I'm telling the mayors of Quebec City about this incredible ICSP plan we have done here. And they're asking me, how is the town of 20,000 so far ahead? So I think we as Cobourgians, we as people who live in Northumberland, have a right to feel a sense of pride in the community we live in, because this community is exceptional. And it's about time that it's getting the credit it deserves. And I'm really honored to be the person who gets to go down to represent Cobourg, but I would be disingenuous if I didn't explain that the reason we're being acknowledged is not from the last 6 months of work of this council. The reason we're being acknowledged is for the last 20 to 25 years of solid leadership, hardworking staff, and a community that works exceptionally well together to ensure the future of Cobourg is not only sustainable, but is also financially viable, and that will provide the highest quality of life to its citizens. And I just think what a great opportunity to really get out there and just showcase Cobourg.
pretty tight itinerary.
Exceptionally tight itinerary. I believe we will be traveling for as many days as we will be in country. And once we're there, it is pretty much back to back. I have been asked to have the distinct honor to actually partake in a plenary session, which is a specific work session for about 3 hours on the first day. And what we're going to be talking about, or what I will be speaking about, is a lot of the work around the closed loop economy. And what that refers to is waste diversion principles, our reduction in landfill usage, our ability to recycle, our landfill prolonging sort of initiatives that we've taken on at the county level, at the provincial level, and at the really local municipal level. And so I'll be talking very specific about what we've done here in Cobourg and at the county and in Ontario to sort of prepare for a closed loop economy, to ensure that manufacturers are responsible for the waste that they produce, that we as individuals are doing our best to reduce that, and how we can do through bag tag programs, through recycling programs. We are, again, leading the charge in sustainability. And so I'm going to get a chance to actually educate other municipalities onto the ways that we in Cobourg have sort of tackled our problems.
Best news to taxpayers, not costing a dime.
I mean, that could be the
It's
best news.
been
It's definitely a
brought up.
concern
Yeah.
that a lot of people have been brought up that, yes, that's correct. The entire event is being sponsored by the U20 organization and the Indian government. So all of our accommodations, all of our flights, that's all being picked up. It would be, again, a little bit disingenuous to say it's not going to cost Cobourg taxpayers anything. I'll be out of country for a week. I am paid a salary, so therefore, I mean, you could see it as a costing that. The CAO is going to be leaving with me and accompanying me. Therefore, her salary, that could be the taxi ride to and from the airport, perhaps. But in terms of the bulk of the cost, no, the bulk of the cost is being borne by these agencies, which again goes to show sort of how valuable Cobourg is to these discussions. And again, another source of pride that we can hold as people from this community.
Last question, is this the first time this has been that you know of, that you've been, but not you've been, but I mean that the town's been invited to something like this?
This is a huge, I can't speak to the history of Cobourg. I mean, we're talking a long history, 100 plus years. But in terms of the most recent, say 20 to 25 years, I can say that this is one of the few opportunities that a sitting mayor has had to go to the global stage to represent Cobourg. And I think that's really important to note. And I think it's a sign of things to come, that what you're going to see over the next 3-4 years of this council sitting is a cohesive group working to build the brand of Cobourg. Because we all know as a council that it's through that brand building, it's through the marketing of Cobourg, it's through getting the decision makers at the federal and the provincial level to know about us and to know the value in this community that's going to lead to those funding opportunities, those partnership opportunities, those financial and business opportunities of the future.
Anything else?
I think that's pretty good. Thanks very much, Pete. I really appreciate taking the time to come in and interview me today.